Welcome to part 4 of our training on creative visualization. Today, we're going to talk about amplifying the results. So there are a couple of really powerful ideas that you can bring in to amplify the results you get from creative visualization and shorten the time gap. First, let's talk about that time gap for a moment. Why is it that there is a gap between what we think about and what we focus on and how it shows up in our reality? Well, Esther Hicks in her writings explains the time gap this way. She says, look, imagine if the universe was designed so there wasn't a time gap between your thoughts and your reality. You think about an elephant and boom, this entire set would be broken. There'd be a big, stinky elephant here. So the time gap really is a way for you to develop discernment, to figure out what you truly want and to make it more specific, or to even figure out if you want to change your mind. That time gap is essential. Now, you don't want to change your mind too often, but what you do want to do is understand that the time gap is a necessary part of how the universe works, in spiritual philosophy at least. But if you're clear on what you want, the goal is to make that time gap as short as possible. In other words, if you want to take your business to the next level, you don't want to wait years, you want to do it fast. If you want to find the love of your life, you don't want to wait years, you want it to happen fast. This is how you can shorten the time gap. The first thing is do not attach to the outcome. This is one of the most powerful lessons here. Don't attach to the outcome. Let's go back to one of the things you learned early on in this program. To move towards your goals, you must be happy before you hit your goal. In other words, the states of bliss, of joy, of positivity must be disassociated from the end result. I shared a quote from the book Quantum Success on the paradox of intention. Have goals, but don't tie your happiness to these goals. You must be happy before you attain them. What this means is that everything that you're putting down in your 3MIQ is important, yes, but you need to be in states of bliss now. You need to be understanding who you are, the universe expressing itself. You need to understand the law of resonance. That means you be first, and then the world shifts to who you are. So don't attach to the end outcome. It's okay to desire that love, to desire that healing, to desire that elevation in your career or business. But you must be in a state of bliss, gratitude, appreciation, and all the other positive states you can muster now. That is essential. This is why Michael Beckwith speaks of sadness as a companion and reaffirms that he is blissful, that he is gratitude, that he is light. You are too, because we're all made of that same stuff. Don't push back your happiness and attach it to an outcome. Now think about this for a moment. When you are attached to the journey, as soon as you're done with the meditation, worry, fear, anxiety creeps in. Now what are you telling yourself? You're telling yourself, I am not that. I am not it. You are telling yourself you want that because you are not that. And remember, the universe will give you what you are. The law of resonance kicks in and you no longer get that thing. That creates more guilt. It creates more fear. It creates more longing. And you stay stuck in that mode of wanting because you are not it. But when you come out of your meditation, expecting and knowing that it is on the way, knowing that there are things you can do to become the person who deserves it, you move towards it faster. This brings us to our second rule. And this is a really important one. The law of expectancy. When you're done with whatever it is that you're visualizing, you must have a sense of positive expectancy that it's going to come to you. Jose Silva, as he trained and worked with millions of graduates of the Silva method, he found that there were 3 necessary ingredients: desire, belief, expectancy. Number 1, you must truly desire it. If you don't truly desire it, you're going to flip-flop. You're going to change your mind. You're going to ask for something, and as the universe is giving it to you in the designation of that time gap, you might move to something else. That's bloody annoying to the universe. Don't be that person. You must desire it. This is one of the reasons why we start every creative visualization with an emphasis on what we do not want, because it creates the desire for what we do want. So desire is important. The second thing is you must believe it is possible. You must have a belief that what you're asking for is coming to you. and available to you and that you are deserving of it. Any sense of undeservedness, any sense that you can't have this because you're not enough will push it back. But the third ingredient is what I consider the most important: expectancy. You must step forth from your meditation in a positive state of expectancy. Now, it is normal that doubts might creep in. And if so, when you feel that doubt, do a quick 2-minute repeat of the end result and who you become. Just do that mentally in your head. Remember, you can attain alpha levels, relaxed levels with a simple 3-1 and then a 10-1 countdown at this point. These dips back in alpha, these revisualizations of the end result will help give you faith again and help boost your expectancy. Let me explain in a very specific way what this feeling of expectancy feels like. I want you to imagine you have a friend who borrowed $1,000 from you, and he said he's going to pay you back in a week. So you've lent $1,000 to a friend, and that is a big chunk of what you earn in a month. Now, a week comes by, and your friend hasn't returned that $1,000. He asks for more time. 2 weeks pass by. 3 weeks pass by. Now he stopped returning your calls. 2 months have passed by. 3 months. You are so frustrated with your friend. All of a sudden, your friend messages you. He says, look, I'm so sorry. I was so wrong on this. I should have gotten back to you. I went through a really bad moment of my life. I forgot who I am. I forgot what a wonderful friend you were. I've written you a check for this $1,000. The check is in the mail. Here is the FedEx tracking number so you can track the check. Now, how do you feel? Have you received the money back? Is it in your bank account? No, but you certainly are going to feel this big sense of relief because you know the check is in the mail. You know FedEx is going to get it to you on time. You have that feeling of expectancy. That is what we are looking for. After you ask the universe for something, after you practice creative visualization, you got to come out with that same feeling of expectancy. In the case of that friend, once you receive the tracking number and you see the check is truly in the mail, you're not going to go around being angry or frustrated at your friend because you know it is on the way. Likewise, when you come out of your meditation, you can't walk the world still frustrated, still longing. You got to know that something has shifted, that it's on the way. And you got to take on the identity of that person who is going to be receiving this gift. This is the great trick. And to ensure that you're constantly expecting good things to come to you, you got to put yourself on a cycle of perpetual personal growth. Again, I want to emphasize the 1 hour a day. If you're growing, everything else in your life is going to be growing with you. And you will have more faith, more belief in your power, more expectancy that good things are going to come. Growth is the ultimate thing. Do not buy into the lie of busyness or hustle or that you don't have enough time. What you will inevitably find is that when you dedicate that 1 hour to growth, your life will simplify. Hard work and the need for it will disappear. Overwhelm will fade away. And what you're working on in your career will move to you with more elegance and ease. When I was a student at the University of Michigan, I really dreamed of owning a car. And I was saving up to buy a second-hand used car. Now, while I was saving up that money to accelerate the time to me getting that car, because I understood the expectancy effect, I went out to Walmart and I bought myself a snow scraper, one of those things that you use to scrape off snow from the window of your car. It was winter in Michigan, and it was an essential tool in that awful Ann Arbor weather. So I bought myself a snow scraper before I actually had the car. Around 1 week later, I saw an ad in the newspapers. A fellow student was selling his Mercury Sable for a price I could afford, and I had my car, and I had my snow scraper ready. That is how you want to observe the situation. After you visualize what it is that you want, go ahead and take some action on it. If you want to be the type of person who always has really wonderful dates, go out and buy. Even if you don't have a date lined up, go out and buy the outfit you would wear on the date that you know is coming to you. If you want to start a company, go out and get a business card printed or go out and hire a logo designer. You don't have to wait to know the exact product or service. You want to get a great body? Go out and start buying books on health and wellness. Line them up on your bookshelf. Start reorienting your home to cater for someone who is the essence of health and fitness. Toss out the crap from your refrigerator. Buy healthy foods. Take those actions immediately because these actions help activate the law of resonance. They help you shift who you are to become. This is one of the most important things you can do. So ask yourself, what do you need to go out there and buy? What coaches or teachers do you need to hire to teach you the skills to prepare you for what you're about to become? What books do you need to read? What courses do you need to study? Set aside time for this study, for this learning. Start acting as if, and magic will happen. I want to read to you one of my favorite quotes in the world on what happens when you tap into this magic. It's by the great philosopher Terence McKenna. Nature loves courage. You make the commitment and nature will respond to that commitment by removing impossible obstacles. Dream the impossible dream, and the world will not grind you under. It will lift you up. This is the trick. This is what all those teachers and philosophers who really counted, who really touched the alchemical goal, this is what they understood. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done, by hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a feather bed. So make the commitment and watch nature respond. Hurl yourself into the abyss and observe that you will land on a feather bed. Go out, take some action, and I'll see you tomorrow.